today's class, before we actually get to Qasas al-Nabiyyin, we want to do a little bit of a recap as to what it is we talked about yesterday. Yesterday we spoke about a special bab. You guys remember what bab that was? No, the last one we learned. What do we call it? It was called bab if'al. Very nice. Now bab if'al, can someone remind me how we make the past tense version of a bab if'al?
Oh, this is the last one. The root letters.
Take the root letters.
Place alif, place hamza with the fatha, or alif fatha before the root letters.
Okay, hamza with the fatha before the root letters.
Give position 1 sukoon.
Position 1 has sukoon.
2 and 3 have the fatha.
Okay, so example, if we took sami'a and we put it in if'al form, it would be asma'a. Very good. And what was the present tense made like? A ya or a ta or a hamza or a noon. The present tense letters, right? We give that first prefix for mudari', the present tense prefix, the dhamma, and then the first letter of the word. The first original root letter gets a sukoon, and then the second one gets a kasra. So the example with sami'a, the present tense in bab if'al would be yusmi'u. Very good. Yusmi'u. Okay. Yusmi'u. So on and so forth. Another way you can actually remember bab if'al, which is fine by my standards, this isn't the standard of everyone, it's more of a lenient path, is you can just call this form 4. And the reason we would call it form 4 is because of the fact that if you look this up in an English to Arabic dictionary, an Arabic to English dictionary, they would put bab if'al as number 4. Like if you looked at any word up in the dictionary, in a real dictionary, not the student's Arabic dictionary, and I'll do that demonstratively just in a sec. This is an example of a real dictionary. Now, I'm going to look up the root letters sin, qaf, ta. Anyone know that verb? Saqata.
Drop, right?
Saqata doesn't mean drop. It means to fall. Okay? Something fell. So if I say saqata al-qalamu, what would that mean?
Drop off the pen.
Not drop off the pen. The pen fell. The pen dropped. You can say the pen dropped itself. It just dropped. If I said saqata saqfu, what would that mean?
The ceiling fell.
The ceiling fell down. Now I'm going to look these root letters up real quick and let's see if we're right. Saqata. Here we have the entry. And its present tense, the U tells us that the present tense version of saqata would have a dhamma on the second position. So what would the present tense version of saqata be? Yes, qutu. Just like nasara yansuru. Very good. Just like nasara yansuru. We have a dhamma on the second original letter. What in this entry shows me that the second letter should have a dhamma? The U. If that U was an A, what would that tell me? It has a fatha. And if that U was an I, it would tell me it has a kasra. Okay. Saqata yasqutu means to fall down, to drop, to slip, so on and so forth, right? But I want to transform this word into form 4. Guys, remember how we transform into form 4? Past tense. What would the past tense of this in form 4 be? Okay. Add the hamza, give the first letter a sukoon, and the other is fatha. So what do we get? Asqata. And what would the present tense of asqata be? Yusqitu. Now, if I'm in the dictionary and I want to look up what does asqata yusqitu mean, not saqata, but asqata in form 4, all I got to do is look for Roman numeral 4 and look. What does it mean? To drop something. To make something fall. You see the difference in meaning between these two forms? What did the regular version mean?
Something fell.
Something
That
fell.
was,
And form 4,
Make something fall.
Now it's transitive.
I made something, he made something fall down. Now it's transitive. And that was the speciality of form 4. Form 4 is a way to make an intransitive verb transitive. And form 4 is a way to make a transitive verb doubly transitive.
Oh, you can make a transitive even more transitive?
Yes. So for example, if I said to you, Shariba, what does Shariba mean?
To drink.
He drank. Now, is that transitive or intransitive?
Transitive.
How do you know?
You have to drink something.
You gotta drink something. Okay. But now let's take Shariba and let's put it in form 4. How would I say it in the past?
Ashraba.
Ish? No? Ashraba in the past tense. And the present tense would be? Yoshribu. Now, what do you guys think Ashraba Yoshribu would mean?
Something to drink.
Make somebody to make them drink.
Okay, very good. Arif said to make someone drink something. So how many objects are there? There's 2. Make someone drink something. So I can say Ashraba Zaydun Khalidan Ma'an. What does that mean?
They drink the water.
Exactly. Ashraba Zaydun. Why is that marfu'?
That's
That's the fat name.
No, not the name. That's the doer. Ashraba Zaydun Khalidan. Why is he in the nasab state? He's the object number 1. Alright, and then ma'an. Why is ma'an in the nasab state? It's also an object. It's exactly what it is that he made him drink. Let's see if that even is true. We just kind of theorized this word. You guys made that up. Let's see if it makes sense. So shariba on its own means what? What do you get? To drink, right? What's the present tense of shariba if I see an A here? There's an A right here. There's an A right here. Fatha, fatha on the ayn letter. The middle letter should have a fatha. Yashrabu. Present tense, yeah. Okay? Yashrabu. Shariba, yashrabu. Now let's go to form 4. What's form 4? Ooh. To give. S-O means someone. S-T-H means something. To give someone something to drink. Isn't that exactly what you theorized it would mean in form 4? Yeah?
It says to impregnate as well.
That's crazy.
Impregnate in English doesn't mean exactly. It means to fill something.
Is form 4 transitive? What does it matter?
Form 4 is usually transitive.
Is there a transitive?
Yeah, there. To be drunk.
Yushribu.
Yoshribu means he is making someone else drink something. Yeah, that's past tense. And Yoshribu is present. That's present tense, right?
It's Ishraba is with the L.
Ash, not Ishraba. Ash. We have to put a fatha on the hamza.
Ishraba is
Ashraba. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Alright, let's try one last one. Jalasa. What does jalasa mean?
He said.
Let's put it in form 4. Past tense, past tense. Ajlasa, fatha, fatha. Ajlasa. What do you theorize ajlasa would mean? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. So we got jalasa right here. What does jalasa normally mean? You guys see it? Jalasa, to sit down. Let's look for form 4. To make someone sit down.
Is that's always that's why I'm confused. It's always in the past tense?
No.
You said put it in the past tense.
Oh yeah, I was just asking you to put in the past tense. But
Oh, okay.
I taught you how to put in the present tense. You
Oh.
put a dhamma on the prefix mudari letter, the hamza, da, ya, or noon. And then you put a kasra on the ayn letter. So it would be yushribu. Or yujlisu in this case,
But
yes.
I thought form 4 was always followed the 3 rules. Alif, Sukun. Isn't that form 4?
Yeah, yes, that's correct. That's correct. So I gave you 3 rules for the past, and I gave you 3 separate rules for the present.
Oh,
Form
okay.
4
Okay.
had 2.
Okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay? Yes.
Something's asking to leave.
Tell him he's banned right
He
now.
could just be present, you know? He could be Mawjood.
He could be Mawjood.
Mawjood. Full of life.
How do you say band in Arabic?
Mamnur.
How do we command it?
Imna.
Love you.
Imna nafsak. All right. I hope we understand form 4. Now, before we move on, I want you to realize something. And that is that yesterday when we began this chapter, we came across this new word, which is ahana al-alihata. Ahana actually is form 4. Ahana. You guys remember where we read it?
How?
H-A.
All right. You guys see this? إن إبراهيم كسر الأصنام وأهان الآلهة. Ahana. You guys see that Hamza with the fatha at the beginning of the verb? Yeah, that means that there's some form 4 action going on. You know, because the past tense of form 4 has what in the beginning? Hamza with the fatha. This is what we see here. So the root letters actually are Hana. Now, you're wondering, isn't Hana just 2 letters? Well, sometimes words like Qala, they originally have 3 letters, but the middle letter just transforms into an alif. Okay? So Qala originally had Qaf, Waw, and Lam. But do we say Qawala? No, we just say Qala. Similarly, we don't say Hawana, we say Hana. Now, Hana, what does it mean in the dictionary as you see, Amir? What's the definition of Hana? To become easy, what else?
Have little importance.
To be of little importance. Now, if I put that in form 4, what do you think it would mean? To make something of little importance. What does that mean?
To belittle something.
To belittle. So let's look and see whether in form 4 that's what it means.
Humble, humiliate.
No, right here, form 4.
That's 6.
Oh, that's 6. My bad. To despise, to humble, to humiliate, to abase, demean, scorn, disdain, slight, treat with contempt. Yes.
But Ahana, shouldn't the first position have sukoon?
Yeah, it should be ahwana, right? But because that transformation happened where the waw turned into an alif, you would have a problem saying that, right? Because look, if the ha had a sukoon, and then you have an alif after, you can't say it. Therefore, the form 4 version is ahana. Ahana means to therefore humiliate.
So form 4 doesn't have the sukun on it. The ha?
Yeah, so that was just his question. Like normally we're supposed to give it a sukoon, but if we gave this one a sukoon,
A long vowel after it.
we wouldn't be able to say it.
Right, yeah.
Okay? So, إن إبراهيم كسر الأصنام وأهان الآلهة. What does that mean, guys? And belittled the gods. Alright.
I like how he talks.
اجتمع الناس وقالوا ماذا نفعل. How did we translate the first line?
The people group themselves.
Gathered themselves and said.
And said,
What are we going to do?
what will we do? Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and read our next line. وَسَأَلًا. Can you guys see it?
وسأل الناس ما عقاب إبراهيم ما جزاء إبراهيم
ما جزاء إبراهيم ما عقاب إبراهيم. Okay, so before we continue,
Is it iqab something to do with punishment?
oh, how'd you know that?
I just memorized sort of the Shams last ayah.
What's the last one?
ولا يخافوا عقباه. Am I wrong? I just memorized it, brother. That was my
What's the last ayah?
I didn't like figure he did.
ولا يخافوا عقباها.
ولا يخاف عقباها. عقباها. عقبah means what?
Consequence.
Okay, so what are the root letters of iqab?
Ain, qaf.
Okay, let's look it up in my dictionary real quick. Aqaba ya'qubu means to follow. Okay, but wait. So aqaba means to come after someone. Okay? Now, when we go and look for the word iqab here, we're actually going to find that the word iqab It's right there.
Is it not the same word?
No. Iqab has a long vowel. Don't you hear it?
A different bab or a different?
It is a different bab. Long story short, we're not doing that bab right now. Iqab. Do you guys see it?
Oh.
Inflicting punishment on someone. A penalty on someone. So, Ma iqabu Ibrahima. What would that mean?
What is Ibrahim's punishment?
For Ibrahim.
Look, iqab is a noun.
Oh, so it's a mudaf.
Yes, it's a mudaf and mudaf ilayh. So how do we translate that, Shamriz?
What is the punishment of Ibrahim?
Very good. What is the punishment of Ibrahim? Ma jaza'u Ibrahim. What's jaza'? Came. That's ja'a.
Same thing.
It's the same thing.
Reward?
Yeah, recompense.
Yeah, there you go.
So it means punishment?
There's punishment penalty.
So if I said jazakallahu khairan, what am I
No,
saying?
but I think
I can repay you.
They're the same word.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like recompense.
One is a noun, one is a verb. What?
It also says amen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so jaza. Jaza in the Arabic language. We have a lot of words that we know that come from those root letters. Don't you guys know the word juz? What's that juz? Okay.
But consequence of people.
Okay, now look. Jaza'a is our verb. What's the present tense of jaza'a? I need you guys to practice this skill. Yaj? Yaj? Zadza'u. Good. How do you know that? The A tells you there should be a fatha on the middle letter of the original three root
I wish you
letters.
like square brackets or something.
Okay? Yajza'u. What does jaza'a yajza'u mean?
Tense?
Okay? To content oneself. To be content is jaza'a. Alright? Now, here's what's interesting. The word jaza', it seems like it comes from those root letters, but it doesn't. It comes from ja, jim, za, and ya.
Oh, okay.
Now, I just did that
Is it broken?
to show you that sometimes things are not what they appear to be. The word jaza has a hamza at the end. That hamza actually used to be a ya. It used to be jazayun, but that just sounds wrong. So say jazayun. The Arabs don't like having ya with dhammatayn, or even dhamma, so they transform it into a hamza. Now, if we look up the root letters jaza with ya, who can guess what the present tense version of this word would be? Now, Arabs don't like putting harakat on ya,
Right.
so they're gonna just give it a sukoon. Yajzi. Yajzi. Alright, the root noun that this comes from is the word jaza, what you see in parentheses there. That's the noun, that's like the root of this verb.
Oh, okay, that's the noun.
Yes. So what does jaza mean? Well,
To reward or to punish. That's
good.
basically-
So, interestingly enough, jaza yajzi means to reward someone or to punish someone. It just means to pay him back. Pay them what they deserve is your jaza. So, we often hear people say, Jazakallah, Jazakallah. Yeah, it means that may Allah pay you back.
Because they ain't got the means to pay you back.
So, the right thing to say is, Jazakallahu khair. May Allah pay you back in good. Not in evil. May Allah pay you back with good. Okay. Jaza, therefore, means your payment, your comeback, or what you deserve, your compensation. So, in the context of them talking about Prophet Ibrahim, are they saying what is the reward of Ibrahim?
The recompense.
Yeah. What is the recompense? What is? It's effectively a synonym of iqab, as you mentioned. So, what is the compensation for Ibrahim? How are we going to pay him back for what he did? Okay, let's go ahead and try reading the next line. كان الجواب حرقوه. You see the parentheses in this book? What does that tell me?
Oh, it's
It's the Quran. كان الجواب. What does كان الجواب mean?
idea?
The jawab is the
The answer. What's the word for answer here?
jawab.
Jawab. What's the opposite of jawab? مشكلة. سؤال. Not سؤال. That's what it is. سؤال. سؤال جواب. Now, كان الجواب would mean what?
The answer was.
The answer was the answer to what?
The action. The recompense of
What's the compensation of Ibrahim alayhi salam going to be? حرقوه وانصروا آلهتكم. حرقوه.
burn up.
It means to burn. Very good. What are the root letters of this?
Haraqa.
Okay, let's look this up real quick, guys. Haraqa. Okay. Haraqa in the Arabic language is also from Haraqa Yahriqu, you guess? I don't know how you know that.
Yeah, that's when my mom burns up the chicken.
Haraqa Yahriqu means to burn something. To burn, to hurt, to sting. Okay? Now, here's the interesting thing. You don't know this bab yet, but the word Harriquhu comes from form 2, which today I'm going to actually be covering this form. Okay? Comes from form 2. Let's just look up form 2 real quick.
We've covered so far just 1, 3, 1, and 4.
Yes, we've covered 1 and we've covered 4.
Which one's one?
1 is the OG. The 6 patterns of Samia, Fataha, Daraba, Nasara, Hasiba, Garuma.
So the past tense.
And their present tense variants as well,
Okay.
right?
That's his.
That's all form 1. We've also done form 4,
1, 4 is the past.
and we're also going to do form 2. We're going to eventually learn form 3, form 5, and form 6. That's it. And form 10. We're going to skip some here and there because they're not as common. If you can get these forms down, you've covered 98% of the Quranic forms. Okay? There are like maybe 1 or 2 instances of other forms being used.
So they're really just like a short number of words in all these different forms of the Quran. So is the Quran made up of fewer words but more forms?
That's Arabic in general.
Oh, well,
Yeah, that's Arabic in general, in that you can use less root letters to convey more meaning if you use different verbs. That's true.
okay.
But that doesn't mean that the vocabulary of Arabic is limited.
No, I just about
There's
that,
there are more root letters than English words.
about that book that
You know?
it says
So
that
if you
words are-
if you actually started learning the root letters and then applying them, there's billions of Arabic words in theory.
yeah,
You don't want to go down that path.
but back then there wasn't.
Yeah, there were.
Was there? Oh,
Yeah, there were. Like, there were equally as many.
I like it.
Perhaps the ones that were used back then are not used today. And the ones that used today were not used so much back then.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they didn't exist.
You could say a whole essay in just a few words.
Yeah.
So what's form 2 called?
It said
Form 2 is called Taf'eed.
500.
Taf'eed.
So that was the
Yes, that's what it's called.
Not true, but I'm thinking that.
Okay, so let's explain. Let's explain. Form 2 means the same thing as the regular verb, which means to burn. Okay? Harriqu. Do you guys notice that wow at the end of this?
Yeah.
This is actually a command form. Why is there no Hamzatul Wasl? Don't ask me that right now. Okay? Because the way to making commands in other forms is actually different than form 1. The rules of how to make a command form in other babs is different to the way that you learned in form 1. So this is a command form. It is plural masculine. You can guess that by seeing the wow with the sukoon. Like idribu means what? You three, go ahead, right? Idribu. Now, it's okay. Imagine if we have the word harriqu, we know that multiple people are being spoken to, and what are they being told? Burn. Harriquhu means
Burn him.
burn him. Wansuru. If you look at wansuru, doesn't it look like a type of word that we know?
That helps, right?
Yes, but what do you notice is between the waw and noon?
command.
It's a hamzatul wasl, which means this is a command.
Help.
Yes, and help.
And
Alihatak.
gods.
Help your gods. Burn him and help your gods. That was the response.
What do you mean by help? Put it back together too?
Help your gods means help them get revenge.
Oh, okay.
You know, be on their side of history. You defended them. Okay, we following?
No.
Okay, tell me.
I got lost the last.
On one surah? Okay, one surah, if you look at it, you can reverse engineer this word and turn it back into a verb. Remember, the way that we do it is we take a present tense verb like tansuruna, take the word tansuruna and try transforming it into a command.
Yeah, you take away the now, didn't you?
Yes, what do we get?
You said tansuruna?
Yeah.
Tansur.
The Hamzatul Wasl has to have a dhamma. In this case. Because the middle letter has a dhamma. So it wouldn't be ansuru, it would be unsuru. Good. But that's a Hamzatul Wasl, which means we're going to skip it if there's anything before it. So if you put a wow before unsuru, how would you pronounce it? Exactly, that's the word here. So all I was saying is you should look at wansuru and be able to know this is a command. Okay? So they said burn him, wansuru, and help alihatakum, your gods. Alright. وهكذا. Let's try reading that one.
وهكذا كان أوقدوا وألقوا فيها
إبراهيم.
وهكذا كان. هكذا. New word. You know what هكذا means? Okay, let's break it apart so we can understand why it means.
It's like to say it was like.
Okay, so you know what it means.
I know what it means.
But understand why it means what it means. Ha in Arabic is how you get someone's attention. It's like, hey. So, like for example, I say hada. What am I saying?
This.
But the part that means this is that. Ha is like, hey. Okay? So ha is the part that is getting someone's attention. Hada. Look at this. This is. Now, in this case we have ha, which means listen. Hey, listen. Ka. What does ka mean? Like.
This.
And then ka means like. That means hada. This. So how do we translate all of those words?
And hey, like this?
Yeah, we won't say the hey part literally, but we'll just say and like this. Hakada, and like this kana, like this what? It was. And this and like this it was. What does that mean?
So it was.
So it was.
Yeah, so it was, or it happened like this. Like what? Like what?
Like this.
Like what though?
They burned him.
They burned him and they helped their idols. You get it? So if you look back to what they planned, they said we're gonna burn him. Go help your idols, burn him. Hakadha kana. And like this, it was. It was like this. This is exactly how it went down. Following? Okay. Awqadu. Oh man, that's a weird word.
That means start or something?
No, I want you to not tell me based off your Arabic. Pretend you know no Arabic, I mean.
Does this go back to ugly and then add the hamza and all that?
Oh, wait, what? Say that again?
He's asking the Zalman, basically. This is 4 and 4, some form.
This is form 4. How'd you know?
Hamza with the
Hamza with the fatha. It is form 4. So what are the root letters?
Waqada.
Waqada.
Waqada means
Ish?
To ignite.
To ignite. Okay, so waqada means to take fire, meaning to be ignited.
form 4 would be
Waqada means to catch on fire.
Oh, like wallah.
Yeah, you know walla', hey? You're Arab, bro. To the core. So, waqada means to catch on fire. That's why it says to take fire. To take on fire, to catch on fire. What would form 4 therefore mean?
Put something on fire.
To put fire on something else, to ignite. So awqada means to ignite something. Awqadu would mean what? They ignited. Okay? Awqadu naran. They ignited what? A fire. Alqaw. What is alqaw? But wait, how do we know what type of word this is? Form 4. Man, there's a lot of these in Arabic. You're realizing? Form 4 is more common than regular form. Okay? So a lot of times it is. So we have to look at the original root letters. Let me just help you out. It's Lam Qaf Ya. Okay?
Oh, okay, they replaced the with the wow.
Yes. Now, actually, the ya dropped. The wow is for the plural masculine one.
I'm starting to see, and tell me if I'm wrong. The wow alif is always being a joined replacement of added to the end, right? It's not
Yeah.
part of the original.
It's never.
Never.
Because that alif is added when you have a wow that's added to make something plural
So
masculine.
wow alif can always be 75% of the time assumed to replace it, yeah, if not another letter.
Where'd you get that? The fact that it's
I'm just
replacing it?
realizing
Yeah.
it in all the patterns.
Ah,
That's 'cause
okay.
They're talking to plural men, that's why.
So when we're talking about plural men, we always say fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, okay?
Oh,
In fa'alu, we have the waw hamza. So the waw hamza is just telling you that multiple men did it.
okay.
Or multiple men are being commanded, for example. Like one suru, you see it right here?
Yeah.
That's just added because multiple men
Oh,
are
I
the
see
ones
what
who
you're
are being
saying.
commanded. It's not an indication of a dropped ya.
Okay.
Okay? So, anyhow, the root letters of al-qaw are originally lam, qaf, ya. How do we read the past tense? Laqtiya. How do we read the present tense? What?
يلقى. I don't know
Yel
how I got
what?
there. يلقى.
Not yalqi.
يلقى. But they don't do the anytime the yeah, so it's
You're
يلقى.
close, you're very close. Yalqa, you would be the original, but remember the Arabs don't like ya at the end of a word. We're just gonna turn it to an alif.
يلقى.
Yalqa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, see, I was I didn't know how I got there.
You just know because you've inherited this knowledge, man.
Unless you show inside the dictionary.
When you hear the right way, the right way as a child, the right way will just sound right your whole life. That's really what it is. So your intuition is strong. Like, you know, a pilot, you're not going to become a pilot at 30. You have to grow up around people in that industry. Otherwise, you're never going to be comfy in that sense. You know, you can train and train and train and train, but some things have to be inherited.
You gotta watch Top Gun.
Like an F1 driver is not going to become an F1 driver out of college. He had to have been doing this since he was 4, 3.
That's why like the best baseball players are like.
They're all
That's all the same thing.
they're bred for that role,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
some
yeah.
things are inherited. Not everything is in school. So,
What were we in here?
like business,
Yeah.
like business, some people it's in their blood. So yalqa you becomes yalqa. Now yalqa, laqiya, yalqa means to what?
Meet.
To encounter.
To encounter someone, to meet
I
someone.
can't see form 4.
Now I'm not showing you form 4 because I want you to guess what would form 4
To
mean.
call something to me.
To cause,
To bring something together?
okay.
Ah.
To bring something together because
So
you're,
basically, they're gonna combine Ibrahim with the fire. So,
yeah. So it means to make A meet with
Make
B.
it he would do the
So how do you make someone meet with something?
Drop it on.
You throw it at them. Okay? If I throw these keys at you, I can say Alqa Uthmanu wa'inan al-miftaha. Uthman made Wa'id meet the keys. Literally, that's what it means. But Alqa actually means to throw. فألقى in the Quran, فألقى موسى عصاه. What does that mean?
Musa threw his staff.
Musa threw his staff. He didn't make it meet the earth. Of course, he did that, but they just use it to mean to throw. Let's see if we're right. Alqa, form 4, means to
It's in the right circle.
to throw, to cast, to fling. You all understand how it means that?
Yes.
Because when you make A meet B, that means you're throwing it. Most of the times. Alright? So, وَأَلْقَوْا is plural. وَأَلْقَوْا فِيهَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ would mean what?
So they
They threw Ibrahim in it, meaning in the fire.
And I guess fire's feminine, right? It's
Yeah,
hot.
yes, that's right. Remember, I was in our other class. Narukuni, right? Walakin, let's go ahead and read that. Lin.
Yeah, now.
Okay, what happened? What happened?
What is like in
What does lakinna mean? What type of word is
However?
lakinna? Very good. What type of word is it?
It's
Inna.
Good. It's a sister of
I only know
Inna.
it because Allah has a fatha.
Good.
Jar.
No, not jar.
Who's jar?
Like Inna is a sister of Inna, so it causes what?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Nasab stay to the
Yeah.
ism of Inna, also the Mubtada, right? What was formerly the Mubtada, now known as the ism of Inna. Walakin Allah, however, Allah what? Allah helped Ibrahim,
And he told the fire.
and he said to the fire, what did he say to the fire? Read the Quranic ayah. Ya naru. Ala Ibrahim. Okay, let's do a little bit. Let's just do a little bit of a demonstration real quick as to what's happened.
Yes.
You guys remember the verb kana?
Yes.
Yes.
Verb kana?
Can?
Or like حرف مشبهة بالفعل.
No, that's ka'anna.
Like
And it was like.
No.
It was.
That's ka'anna. Kana.
My slang is.
It was. I don't know what
We don't say can.
Kana. We know kana means?
Yes.
It was, he was.
Kana means was. He was, right? Or it was. Does anyone know what the present tense version of kana is?
يكون.
Yakunu. Okay? Now, pay attention to this. This is an introduction to advanced sarf. This skill that I'm showing you, just paying attention to words and trying to figure out what they used to be, should be the goal of anyone studying Arabic. You see a word like kana yakunu, you know that kana is weird. It looks different to a normal verb. Why does it look different?
That's alif.
So what do you think was actually happening?
Well,
They got dropped from a different
It used to be a wow, and it became an alif. So what was kana originally?
Una.
Yawana. And what was yakunu originally?
يكون.
Yak.
What?
Wunu.
Unu.
Doesn't that sound
Oh,
weird?
that sounds weird.
Yak wunu. But when you take yak wunu, you give the dhamma from the wow to the previous letter, and you give the sukun from the kaf to the wow. You flip the harakas. What do you get? Yakunu. Now I want to say yakunu, but I want to say it in female form. What would it be? Yakunu. I want to say this to two men. How would I say it? Second person. Takunani. How would I say it to two, three or more men? Takununa. How would I say this to one female? Takunina. 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 Now I want you to take the word takunina. Can someone tell me what that means?
You, female, or like.
Not or like. What does kana mean?
Was you, female word.
You were, right? You were talking to a female. Now, but it's not past tense. You said you were.
Are.
You are.
People are.
You are. Okay? Now, normally, how do we make a... I wrote that wrong, by the way. I should say that. Takunina. How do I take the word takunina and turn it into a command?
Take away the top.
Take away the ta. Take away the noon. What do I get? But here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing, Matic. Normally we add an alif because the word after alif has a sukoon. Does this one have a sukoon? So we don't add the hamza to the So no, we don't add the hamza al wasl in the beginning because the letter after, which is kaf, already has a haraka. And kuni. Now normally that's not the case. Like for example, if I tell you damsulu, if I take damsulu and try to make a command out of it, I get rid of the da. What's the letter after that? In damsulu. What does the noon have? See how the problem is I can't start a word with a sukoon in Arabic. So I gotta add a hamza al wasl to make the noon pronounceable. You understand why we need a hamzatul wasl?
Because
Because
of the sukoon.
the
It's
sukoon.
not the-
Now in takunina, we don't even have a sukoon on the gaf.
No need for him.
So no need for hamzatul wasl. Does that make sense? Also, if you remember back, there was a word that we read which was a command, which meant burn him. You guys remember what word that was? Harriquhu, right? Is there hamzatul wasl there? No, so that means that form 2 doesn't have a sukoon on the first letter.
We're just knowing this, right?
Yeah, well, I'm just introducing you to this.
No, but I mean, like, I'm just supposed to know that Al-Rakud doesn't have a sukoon because of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I get it.
So this is form 2.
No, this one isn't. This one isn't. This is regular kana yakunu. The first letter doesn't have a sukoon because it was too hard to pronounce. Remember, the original version of kana was kawana, and the original version of yakunu was yak with the sukoon. Yakunu, but we switched the harakas between the waw and the kaf. You understand? That's just a pronunciation thing. Similarly, like Madik, you know the word qala. What's the present tense version of qala? It's very yaqulu. Think about it. Is there sukoon on the first letter? So the command would just be what? Sorry? It wouldn't be qulu because we got to give sukoon to the end, remember?
Why wouldn't it just be cool?
Qul. Okay. In a second. Huh? So you said that it should be qul, right? Because you take the qulu, you get rid of the ta, we have to give the last letter sukoon. What are we left with?
Cool.
Qul. But in Arabic,
It's cool.
the Arabics don't like having two sukoons back to back. So qul,
Cool.
it's too many sukoons, so they cut the middle letter out and you're left with qul. Like qul huwa Allahu
You're
ahad.
saying too many sukoons. What? I don't
But
understand.
why was it cool?
So look,
Oh.
taqulu, right? If we look at taqulu, what does the waw have? It has a sukoon, right? It has a sukoon. Whenever a letter like this has sukoon, and we're trying to transform this into command form, effectively, we would be left with this. We'd be left with, oh ya Allah, what did I do?
So go up.
Yeah, there's a little small print. Okay, my bad. So you get qul. In the word qul, there's already sukoon on the waw, but when we make commands, we put sukoons on the last letter.
So if a letter doesn't have a fatha or a dhamma or a kasra,
It's usually sukoon.
it has a sukoon.
Usually, yes.
Oh, I didn't
Like
understand.
that's what a mud is.
Oh,
A mud
okay.
is effectively one of the alif, waw, or yas that has a sukoon.
So sukoon on this makes the method like
Yeah, you gotta
extend the
stretch it.
letter.
Right, like for example, we say,
Oh.
وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. I don't say وَيَقُولُ like
I
again.
thought, okay,
I gotta stretch the wow, right?
okay.
Or I say qala. I don't say qala.
Oh, I see. what
We are
you're saying.
stretching now.
So,
We are.
Yeah, okay. Fatha would have been qawa.
Yeah,
But you can't do that, so you go. Ooh.
that's right.
I see.
So in the
Oh,
word
that doesn't make sense.
qul, we can't do that in Arabic, so we get rid of the wow. Why was this whole demonstration done? It's done because in our book we have the word kuni. Kuni, we just reverse engineered, is a command from the verb takunina. Takunina. If you can remind me, what does the word takunina even mean? No, you keep saying like, right?
So you were.
You, that's past tense.
You are.
You are. If I take you are and transform it into a command, what would it mean?
Become.
Yeah, you be. Right? You become. So Allah says, Ya naru kuni bardan. What does that mean?
Become cold.
Oh fire,
Become cold.
become
Cool.
bardan, cool. Wasalaman, and peaceful. Become cold, become peaceful. Ala Ibrahim, for Ibrahim, right? Become cool and peaceful upon Ibrahim. Any questions about this complicated sentence? The sentence is actually not complicated. the weakness is just in your immature study of the self. So it's not your fault. I'm introducing you to these concepts because as we formally go over them, you'll actually be able to be like, yo, I already know what Form 4 is. I know what Form 4 is used for. I know what Form 2 is used for. And the creation of those things will be much more contextualized. Alright, so the next line has another familiar word, which is hakada. Can we try reading that? How do we translate that? وَهَكَذَا كَانَ.
And so it was.
Like this?
And like this it was.
Yeah, so and so it was. Right? And so it was. كَانَتِ النَّارُ. What was? The fire was bardan. وَسَلَامًا. And peaceful على إبراهيم. To Ibrahim. Okay? Let's go ahead and read the next line. You guys know this. What does that
The
mean?
people saw that the fire was not harming Ibrahim.
What does anna mean? That. So the people saw that the fire was not harming Ibrahim. Was not harming Ibrahim. Let's read the last line. Salimun ودهش الناس. Okay, we have quite a few new words. رأى الناس أن إبراهيم مسرور. What is that? What do you know from that? The people saw that Ibrahim was happy. What's the word for happy? Masrurun. Masrurun. What are the root letters in masrurun? Good. So sarra. Sarra is an example of a muda'af verb. That means there's double letters for two positions. Okay? These words have their own rules. Don't worry. We're going to come across all these rules. You're going to get annoyed very fast with how many rule sets you got to remember to be fluent in the Arabic language. But fret not, because the truth is no one masters Arabic fully. Let's figure out what sarra means. Sarra, the verb, means what?
To make happy.
To make somebody happy. So a masroor is a person who was made happy by someone, right? Who someone made happy. Ana masroorun bi liqa'ika. I'm happy to meet you. It's like a phrase you would use in Arabic. So the people saw that Ibrahim was happy. وَأَنَّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ سَالِمٌ. Anyone ever heard the word salim?
Because he was at peace.
Salim, you think actually means at peace? And in one piece. You use that to mean that? MashaAllah. That is exactly what it means. Salim in the Arabic language comes from the root letters that make up salam as well, as you all know. Now, salima, yaslamu means to be what?
Safe and sound.
To be safe and sound. Therefore, the word salim means someone that is sound. Like in one piece. وَأَنَّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ salim. When they saw that Ibrahim was
Peace.
not at peace, we won't say at peace.
In one piece.
In one piece. That Ibrahim alayhi salam was safe.
Yeah, he was fine.
That he was alright. Yeah? So they saw that Ibrahim alayhi salam was okay. You can say he was okay. وَدَهِشَ النَّاسُ. Dahisha is a word we looked up the other day. To become surprised. Good. So dahisha النَّاسُ means the people became surprised. وَتَحَيَّرُوا. What is tahayyaru?
Confused?
Where does it come from? What does tahayyaru look like? It's something I introduced you to yesterday.
Oh, the
عجبة.
إفعال.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Tafa'ul.
It's not.
Tafa'ul. I mean, you wrote it down.
Why
Remember?
did I write
Tafa'ul.
If'al?
You asked me. You literally asked me. I'll tell you where you were sitting.
That's not.
That's why I looked at Wayne, because this is where he was sitting. So, this is a bab that we learned about yesterday that I introduced you to that has an extra da before the root letters and an extra shadda. on the second position. Like for example, the word we learned about yesterday was the word ta'ajjaba. You guys remember that? Madik, you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
You do? Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Dhamma thing, it means the same
Oh,
thing.
that's the one with the shadda.
Yeah. Ta'ajjaba. Remember we did this?
Yeah, ujiba means the same
Oh,
thing.
yes, exactly. Good. Now, in our example today, we have the hayyara. What are the root letters of the hayyara? Hayyara. Hayyara actually makes the Arabic verb hara, which means to become confused.
So what form is the hajjara?
What form is the hayyara? The hayyara is form 5.
Oh, that's fine.
It's form
So
5.
ta'ajjab is from 5?
Yes. Okay? So this is form 5 when you have an added ta, and then you have a shadda on
always
the
be a ta?
letter. That ta is a permanent addition. So what does form 5 here mean?
Very good.
To become confused. Okay? With the hayyaru, the people became confused. In order, we have the word shamraz, we have hayran. It's an Arabic word. Hayran. मैं तो हैरान हो गया.
Yeah.
Because I became like bewildered. I'm like, what's wrong with me? So hayran, you see it?
Yes.
Perplexed, baffled. I mean someone who has no idea what's happening. So the people became baffled as to what it is they just saw. And as a result, our next chapter begins with the words Man Rabbi, which is
Who is my Lord?
Who's my Lord? Okay, we're not going to start the next one, as I'm going to be introducing you guys to some new forms of Arabic verbs. Okay, what are these forms? First and foremost, you guys have already learned these 6 babs. 6 babs, just so that you remember, are a combination of past and present tense verbs that differ based on the fact that the middle letter is also changing its harakah. Like nasara yansuru, we have the past tense having fatha, 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 the present tense having dhamma on the middle letter. Sami'a yasma'u, we have kasra on the middle letter on the past, and fatha on the present tense middle letter. Haba and karuma yakrum,
Same.
we have what?
They maintain dhamma on the second letter.
Dhamma and dhamma. On the middle letter dhamma in the past and in the present. How about daraba yadribu?
Fatha on the past.
Fatha on the past middle letter and kasra on the present tense middle letter. These are the 6 forms that we are all collectively refer to them as form 1. Okay?
Oh, one more.
These are all form 1 verbs in Arabic. Okay? Boom. We're going to skip through all this talk because this is where your mind will turn on. But I want you guys to just look at this exercise real quick. To which bab does each of the following verbs belong to? Ba'atha yab'athu.
What page is that?
That's on page number 24. Yeah, it's Treasures of Arabic Morphology. If you look at verb number 1, ba'atha yab'athu, okay? Which of the 6 patterns does it remind you of? Fataha yaftah. Why? Because there's a fatha on the middle letter on both verbs, past and present. Fataha yaftahu, ba'atha yab'athu. Tariq, are you following a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, what do we see? Taraka. What pattern is that following? No. We don't say yadrubu. We say yadribu. So taraka yatruku is following which of the 6? Nasara yansuru. Very good. How about fahima yafhamu? What's that following?
Sami'a.
It's following samia yasma'u. Fahima yasma'u. Very good, mashallah. Talaba yatlubu. Which one is that copying?
Karuma. No. Daraba yadrubu.
Nasara yansuru. Very good. How about the word saraka yasriqu?
Daraba yadrubu.
It's copying daraba yadribu. Okay? These are the 6 babs that we've been asked to identify time and time again. And these 6 babs will follow you in your Arabic journey wherever you go. Like they're
Does Darul have anything to do with doing something?
no, it doesn't actually.
Well, like saying,
Others babs have that quality as well. Alright, now go ahead and follow with me real quick. Look how gibberish this book is. I want to see if you can read number 2 and make any sense of
the
this.
Arab grammarians usually begin a perfect emphatic probably a perfect emphatic conjugation of
That's just the way we organize the charts.
Yeah, so like this info isn't that relevant to you right now. Okay?
Just overly complicated.
Yeah, it's just complicated because it's written academically. That's why I want you guys to focus on what we already know. We know fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alata, fa'alna, fa'alta, fa'altuma, fa'altum, fa'alti, fa'altuma, fa'altunna, fa'altu, fa'alna. We know all 14 of the past tense conjugations. We also happen to know the present tense conjugations. This book is great because it forces you to conjugate a lot of different verbs. Okay? Let's go ahead and look at what I need you to look at right now.
What's conjugated again?
Conjugating is just basically whenever it is that. Okay.
What is it again?
Conjugating is whenever you're just putting them in chart form and showing every possibility. Okay? So we know what the present tense looks like. Yaf'alu, yaf'alani. Just help me out, guys. Yaf'aluna. Alright. These 14 that you've learned in the past and present, these are only applicable to Form 1. Okay? Form 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 all have different conjugations. So you're going to memorize 100 other charts. But the easy thing is those charts, they're the same as this, but there's maybe just one letter that's changed. Or one harakat that's changed. So you're not reinventing, like you're not restarting from scratch. You're just making a little modification. Alright? It's like if you're in the gym doing the barbell, you know, you're used to doing it. And yeah, you switch from the barbell to dumbbells. Like there's a little, you're strong, you can easily do the other exercise. But it is going to be different. That's what's important to know. So going ahead and moving on to forms 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is going to be an important thing for the rest of the book of Qasas an-Nabiyyin. Follow with me as we begin to look first and foremost at form 2. Ya Allah, where are you? Here we go.
What page is it?
This is on page number 94. Okay? Let me just explain something to you. Akrama, if we look at this verb right here, doesn't that look like a bab we already know?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Add one.
Form 4. We call that form if'ad as well. Bab if'ad. You see the bab?
Oh.
If'ad.
So how come it actually has the hamza with the kasra?
12 heads?
Because that's actually the name of the root noun, which is beyond you right now. Like, there's a logical reasoning. I just haven't taught you the whole thing yet. I've only taught you the past and present. We have if'al or form 4. Okay? If you look at the second example, can y'all read this verb? Sarrafa. Sarrafa. How does that look different to any regular verb? The shadda on the middle letter. This is form 2. Form 2, how do we make form 2? Well, you guys still have your notes from form 1? Yes or no? I heard one yes.
All the beds and stuff?
Yes. How do we make form 2? Past tense.
The one up.
Okay? Very easy. Like imagine what would qatala mean in form 2. How do we say it in form 2? Qatala. How would I say?
That means to become killed?
I'll teach you about the meaning. It's in a set. How about labisa in form 2? So the middle letter will have a fatha.
Oh,
Okay? Yeah, so give the letter a shadda with a fatha.
شد مفتوح.
Yeah, that's correct.
Really?
You would say harf mushaddad or maftuh. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
what's the
Or maksur. You could say maftuh. Maksur. Madmum. Yeah. Alright, we understand how to make it in the past tense. So if I said to you a verb like haraqa, how would that be in the form of haraqa? Doesn't that sound like what was in the book?
Yeah.
In the book we had hariqu. Okay? I'll explain why there's a kasra in the book in a second. Okay? Present tense. Form 2. Give the mudari' prefix, i.e. one of 4 letters.
أعطيني.
Yeah. Yeah. Hamza. Isn't that the same step as step 1 in Bab If'al?
It is.
It is, right? Okay, Bab If'al, aka Form 4, for money. Form 2, aka
it's just we don't check the
Bab Taf'eel. So in the present tense, there's a few steps. Step 1 is give the mudari' prefix a dhamma. Step 2 is give the middle letter a shadda with a kasra.
That's for the present.
Yeah. So let's do an example with the kasra. So example. Let's take the root letter shariba. If we want to past tense transform this into form 2, how would we say it? Past tense, past tense.
Oh.
Sharraba. And in the present tense we would say yusharribu. 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 It's similar to form 4. It's almost like form 4 but a little more emphasis. Okay? There are other possibilities too. That's the most basic meaning. Yeah.
For the first letter in the present tense, does the haraka change depending on, or is it always
Oh, it's always fatha. Yeah. So the position 1 letter always has a fatha. Okay? So, example, we can take the word labisa. In form 2 it would be labbasa, and the present tense of labbasa would be yulabbisu. And in the Quran, form 2 is incredibly common. So, for example, يُقَتِّلُونَ أَبْنَاءَكُمْ وَيَسْتَحْيُونَ نِسَاءَكُمْ. In relation to Fir'aun, يُقَتِّلُونَ أَبْنَاءَكُمْ, that Fir'aun and his people, they very viciously slaughter your children, like your boys. It's how cruel they were. Yuqattiluna means to be vicious and ruthless in the way you murder with no mercy. Whereas qatala just means to kill. But yuqattilu means to be vicious and merciless in your killing.
What bed is this?
That's form 10. Okay? Good question.
Sorry, you turned off the TV.
Yeah, oh man. Ya Allah. How did I do that?
I think we need to get you an extension to the ground.
Man, I think I need a lot.
Okay.
It literally just showed my background.
What is happening?
Okay, alhamdulillah. So, do we all understand how to make form 2?
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to
Okay.
listen to the example.
The examples.
I just hate the name of the bad. It doesn't give you the
It will give you a lot of info soon.
See, all the verbs will have something to do with fa'ala.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go ahead and look at form 2 in the form of an example. The example they gave was sarrafa yusarrifu. I want you guys to try and do one of the examples they've given here. Let's go ahead and start with the root letters Sin, Lam, and Meen. Sin, Lam, and Meen. If we look up those letters, has anyone ever heard of these letters? Because we just looked them up. Salima. What does Salima Yaslamu mean? To be at peace, to be alright, to be fine, to be sound and safe, to be unscathed. When we are going to say it in form 2, how do we say it? Sallama. And how do we say the present tense? Yusallimu. Sallama yusallimu. What does that mean?
He made somebody at peace.
Yeah, look at it. Read it.
To preserve.
To preserve. To protect someone from harm. Sallama also means to what? To hand over something intact.
Right.
How are you going to say it in the conversation?
I was told that the farmer was going to give him the keys.
Okay, you're about to do taslim. Taslim. Here's an interesting thing though. Sallama, when you use it with the harf jar ala afterwards, then it means to greet or salute someone.
So it has to actually happen.
Yeah, so for example, Sallama Yusufu ala Aliyan would mean what?
Oh, it doesn't have to be right after.
Yusuf greeted Ali. Yeah, Yusuf said Assalamu alaikum. No, we don't say li Ali, we say ala. Yeah. So Sallama Yusufu ala nasi. Yusuf said salam to the people. So that is another meaning of Sallama. Whereas
It gives you the harf jar that would be used with it as well.
for a specific meaning, yeah. In this dictionary, yes. This dictionary has a lot that you can learn from, believe me. Anyhow, we have Sallama. Let's go ahead and look at another example of a word they're asking us to do it with. Qabila. Qabila. If we look up the word Qabila, yaqbalu, we looked it up yesterday. Ali was here. He was right there when I asked him. He forgot what Qabila means. And the rest of you were just laughing. And now you all forgot. What does Qabila mean? To accept. Accept. Qabul is acceptance. We ask Allah for Qabul, right? We say Rabbana taqabbal. Taqabbal is form 5 of the verb, the one with the ta, permanently fixed at the beginning, right? So Qabila means to accept. How would I take that and put it in form 2? Qabbala. Qabbala. And in the present tense? Yuqabbilu. What does Qabila mean? In the original form? To accept. But in form 2, Qabbala has something very different that it means. Let's figure out what it means in form 2. You guys see it?
Yes.
To kiss. To kiss. Right? Qabbala means he kissed.
Oh, it's to accept somebody.
I'm confused.
Well, which one?
Are we sure on the right word?
Yes, we're on the same word.
So you're accepting something that's coming to you, I guess?
You trying to do philosophy and figure out why the Arabs made it mean that.
Because
We don't know. We're theorizing here.
I know like, if they actually like it, they're going to kiss you.
So the qabil, first off, the qabbala, you gotta understand, doesn't just have the meaning of acceptance. Qabbala also has the meaning of qabla. What does qabla mean?
Before?
And what does qabla mean? Before it means what? Before, when you're before me, what does that mean?
Oh.
Okay, so qabbala means to kiss. That means you come in front of me, as close as front of me as you possibly could be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get the idea?
Yeah.
So qabbala means to kiss in form 2. So I can say qabbaltu hajar al-hajar al-aswada. What does that mean? I kiss the black stone, right, in Hajj or whatever. The black rock. We call that black stone.
I said wrong.
All right. Let's go ahead and look at our next example of words that he wants us to do. He said bashira. Or bashara yabshuru, actually, I believe is the bab, if I'm not wrong. Bashara yabshiru, I was right the first time. Bashara yabshiru and bashira yabsharu means what?
Give glad tidings.
No, bashara yabshiru means
Bashara
to rejoice, to be happy. How do we say it in form 2?
Bashara.
Bashara, and in present tense? What does that mean?
Give glad tidings.
To give someone good news, glad tidings, right? You're making someone happy. Okay, so example in the Quran, Allah says, بَشِّرِ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِأَنَّ لَهُمْ عَذَابًا أَلِيمًا. Give the disbelievers the glad tidings that they're going to have painful punishment. This is metaphorical. But give them good news.
You know, I noticed one thing.
Yes.
This one is the numbers is the forms, right? How come it doesn't have a form?
Oh, not all verbs have all forms.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
what
fine.
that was.
Not all verbs have all forms.
Is it singular male or female? Like Bashir?
That's masculine. Yeah, that's singular male. Okay, we've learned about bashara. Let's go ahead and try to figure out one or two more. We have qaf, dal, ra. Qadara yaqduru, qadira yaqdaru. There are multiple babs for this word. Qadara yaqduru and qadara yaqdiru means to what?
Why is there 2 vowels?
Oh, there's different babs, yeah. Even from the 6 forms, there's multiple babs. Qadara yaqduru and qadara yaqdiru means to decree. You know Allah's qadar, Allah's decree, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's predestination is His qadar. Qadara yaqdiru also means, and qadira yaqdaru means to possess the strength or ability. Remember, we had this word, la yaqdiruna ala al-mashi an yamshiya, sorry, an tamshiya, so what is that? In form 2, qaddara, what does qaddara mean? To appoint, to predetermine, to predestine something. What else? To estimate, qaddara. To appraise a house, qaddartul bayta.
Would that make you a qadr?
It would make a muqaddar. That's the ism al-fa'il here. Okay? To guess is also qaddara, to guess, to presume, to suppose. It also means to esteem someone highly, to value someone. Because when someone has qadar, they have value. So qaddara means to give someone value. How do you give someone value? By thinking that they're great. So all of this, this is a long page of like just form 2 and 4 of this verb. And all of the possible meanings of this verb. We have one last one with the saddaqa. Saddaqa. Anyone know what saddaqa means? That's form 5. That's tasaddaqa. To be truthful, right? Like a sadiq. Sadaqa means to be truthful, to speak the truth. So what do you think form 2 would mean? Let's look at it. Saddaqa means? Look at it. To deem someone as credible. To accept something as true. Saddaqa.
Oh, like I believe something, right?
When you believe something, you say saddaqtu. That means I have considered. Saddaqtul Quran means I consider the Quran to be true. And if you told me, hey, you know, I'm leaving the masjid, I'm leaving my house for 2 days, I need a place to park my car. And I say, go park it at my friend's house. He's like, are you sure? I say, Wallahi usaddiquhu. Usaddiquhu. I consider him to be truthful. I consider him to be credible. I trust that person. Does that make sense? Kadhaba means what? Anyone know what kadhaba means? If we put it in form 2, how do we say it? That's in the Quran a lot. Kadhabat thamudu bi tagwa. What does kadhaba mean?
disbelieve.
It's like in form 2?
To consider false.
To consider someone to be a liar. So كذب ثمود means Thamud considered their prophet to be a liar. Their revelation to be a lie. وَيْلٌ لِلْمُكَذِّبِينَ. مُكَذِّبِين comes from كذب, the people who, is ismun fa'il, of the people who consider someone else to be a liar.
Can't consider somebody else to be a liar.
Yes.
Not themselves being a liar.
No, not themselves.
I always understood it as
So when you belie someone, in English you might see the translation as belie. It means when you consider somebody to be a liar. So كذب رسول الله. What would that mean? They called the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam a liar. They called the messenger. He called the messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam a liar. You would say كذب. Make sense? He is calling someone a liar. So I hope Form 2 has a little bit more solidity in your brains as to how it is functioning. And in general, Form 2, 3, 4, and 5 are actually easier than the original. The originals actually are a bit harder because the originals, you gotta remember what bab a certain set of root letters is even from. With the, the advanced forms, you can choose which form to put your verb in to give which meaning. See that difference? If I wanted to give the meaning of transitive, I would pick Form 4. If I wanted to give a different meaning, I would pick a different vowel. And briefly speaking, just to show you how it is that Form 3 will work, I want to go over that really briefly too. We've done Form 1, we've done Form 2, we've done Form 4, we skipped Form 3. Form 3, aka bad مفاعلة. Let's put a stretch A. Let's see, number 8.
So that page on for the judges of is all 12?
No, it's not. It will get into those. Yes. مفاعلة.
So the doer?
No. It doesn't have that meaning. I'll explain. If you want to spell it, it's spelled like this. Mufa'ala. Where's it at? Mufa'ala. Okay? Oh, it's written right here. Why am I typing? Okay. Mufa'ala. Here's how we make it, guys. Past tense. Insert extra alif after position 1. Position 2 always has a fatha. That's it. So qatala. Like qatala would become
He killed.
yeah, so how do we pronounce Form 3? Qatala. Okay. Imagine jahida. Let's take that. It would become jahada. Jahada fi sabilihi. Right? So we have the words like let's just say something. Put it in this form. Okay, how about nasara? Now Sarah. How about akala? Let's do it. Akala. Okay. How about adina? Adana.
So you put a alif after the hamza?
Yeah, you just put a little standing alif to make it like a long vowel. Okay, so y'all understand how to make the past tense of Form 3? We add an alif after Form 1, and Form 2 always has a fatha. Okay?
What does this mean?
One sec, I got you. I'll tell you the meaning in a second. And then the present tense is ditto. Meaning it's the same as Form 2 and 3. Form 2 and 4. As Form 2.
The top of the page is 4, right?
Yeah. Which means what? Oh, yo, my bad. Okay, so look. It is the same. It is. In present tense, they're the same. Okay? In present tense, This is all you gotta do. Put the ya, ta, hamza, or noon at the beginning of the root letters and give it a dhamma. Okay? You. So we're gonna start with you, tu, u, or nu.
And then do
Okay?
you get the middle letter shadda or no?
I got you. 1 sec. The second step is you add extra alif after position 1 again.
Okay.
Okay? And give position 2 a kasra. They're the 3 steps. Okay. So what would the past tense qatala be transformed to in past tense? Form 3. Qatala. And in present tense, what would it become? Yuqatilu. Okay? How about jahida? Let's jahada. Let's take that and put it in form 3 past tense. Jahada. And in present tense, it would become yujahidu.
So does the test on the present?
Yes. How about sara'a? Sara'a. Yusari'u.
That means to go faster?
No, that's seen with the scene. This is sod. Okay? It means to wrestle.
Ends in dhamma.
Oh,
Okay.
Musara, okay.
Yeah, it means to. Okay, how about sabaqa? Let's take sabaqa. We get sabaqa. Yusabiqu. Y'all understand how to make form 3 well now?
Always ends
Okay.
in dhamma.
Because it's present tense. Present
Oh, I
tense.
see.
It doesn't have to. It can end in ani, una, ina.
Right.
And then the nun of femininity. So, now that you've understood those steps, what does Form 3 even do meaning-wise? Meaning-wise, it means that 2 people are competing or are, effectively trying to do the exact same action, sometimes against each other. Okay? 2 people are both doing the action, but they're both perhaps trying to do the action to the other.
Musara.
Sara'a means they're both trying to topple each other.
Right.
Okay? Drop them on the ground.
Would
Or-
both those, if I use names after, would those both names be mansub?
They would actually both be in the rafa state
Rafa.
because they're both doers.
Okay.
Okay? This is good question. You're, mashallah, you're thinking far. So, think about this. When I say qatala, what does qatala mean?
2 people trying to kill each other?
2 people trying to kill each other. They're not actually killing each other because 2 people very rarely kill each other.
Right, it's
But
not
they're-
like a double knockout. Yeah.
Yeah, they're both attempting to kill one another.
So 2 people with the same.
They're trying.
Yeah.
Sometimes it won't give that meaning. Sometimes it'll just give the meaning of 2 people doing something together, maybe not against each other. Okay? So, the 2 people in qatala, they're trying to kill each other, that means they're fighting each other. Okay? We have jadala in the Arabic language, like for example in Surah Al-Mujadila. 2 people who are arguing with one another. Okay? Against each other. We have the word sabaqa, which means 2 people
Competing, right?
competing and racing against each other to come first. Obviously, sabaqa means to come first. Sabaqa means 2 people. Obviously, can 2 people come first?
Okay, no.
No. 2 people are competing to come first. So this is the meaning of verbs that come in form 3.
What
It
does jahada
shows
mean again?
jahada means 2 people to struggle against someone. Yeah, to fight against someone by struggling
from
against
jihad,
someone.
right?
Yes. All right, if we go to our book, and we're going to close in just a sec. The example they gave was qatala, which we just looked at.
That's great.
And if you look at the examples, we have safara, Safara. Ever? Anyone know what the present tense would that be? No, present tense.
Yes.
Remember, Yusafir. What does Safara Yusafiru mean? To travel. Oh, good. Musafir is a traveler. What would Dafa'a Yudafiru mean? Because remember, earlier in this book, we had these root letters when Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam was saying that whenever it is, they can't defend themselves. They don't swat. Remember, the fly. They don't swat the flies. Dafa meant to swat. So what does dafa mean? To defend. Somebody's coming at you. You're trying to swat them. You're trying to get them out the way. Okay. You have the word shahada, which means to witness something. To see and observe something with your eyes. To witness something. And then raqaba, yuraqibu. I'm sorry? No, that's rakiba. Man, your tajweed is holding you back. So raqaba, let's look at it. How am I even going to look it up?
Look up the board.
Yeah, I'm going to look up raqaba. The regular form 1 says raqaba means to observe. And form 3 means to observe attentively, to keep an eye out for something or someone, to supervise, to have an eye over. But raqaba also means to fear God, because raqaba means to observe carefully. When you observe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's existence and everything, you fear Him. The raqaba can also mean to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we'll end and conclude here today, inshallah. As we continue onwards, I'm going to skip form 6, 7, 8, mostly 9. We're going to skip most of these until we have a need to learn the bab in the books. There's actually a lot of other things and stuff that are of greater importance that we haven't done yet. So we're going to do those things first before jumping and memorizing every single bab. Inshallah. Bab infi'al. This form 8.
I just noticed that whole sentence. Is this an actual sentence?
It's a gibberish sentence. It's teaching you every form, basic form of derived nouns from that original group. We'll learn about this thing too as well. We've actually done it once, you just don't remember. So we'll conclude, inshallah. Next class we will continue onwards with our story of Qasas and Nabi. How's y'all's pulse in this class?
How's our what?
Your pulse. What you feeling?
How's our pulse?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever I feel like I'm
In terms of like blood pressure.
Is it heart rate?
Really high right now.
Nah, man. What you pulsing? Like, how you feeling? How you vibing?
Whenever I feel like I'm not learning anything, I just remember how much I learned about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like when you're really learning, you don't learn. You feel like you're not learning anything.
If I get back to like 2
When I
months
think back
ago,
at it, it's crazy.
like what I know now, like 2
Yeah,
months
true
ago.
growth. That's how it always feels. You know, think about like I always try to relate back to physical strength.